am so proud of you this episode. I am so proud. This is late as a bitch. And he kept spraying.
Aliens is one of those franchises where if it's really good, it's amazing. And if it's bad, I just get very bored and have no interest in watching it. Recently, I watched the first 2 Alien movies, and you would think this is an all-time franchise movie, right? The aliens themselves look sick. Sigourney Weaver as Ripley was one of the best female protagonists ever, and the aesthetic is fire. Not to mention the direction from Ridley Scott at his rise, and James Cameron with Aliens back to back is amazing. Then Aliens 3 came out, and I won't lie to you, I haven't watched it, but just from the stories and the dysfunction I've heard from the set, especially knowing that it almost ruined David Fincher's career, it was just not worth my time watching it. Alien Resurrection, you might as well say it's a straight to DVD like how Disney used to do their animated sequels like Lion King 2. That's the vibe I'm getting from that movie. Now, I don't care what nobody say, Prometheus is a great movie.
Release her inhibitions, feel the rain of your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can feel the rays on your lips.
Michael Fassbender as David goated. Also Alien Covenant, it's y'all fault for clowning Prometheus, but again, Michael Fassbender as David great. So we have a new Aliens movie subtitled Romulus, and if you're an Aliens fan, you know Aliens is well connected with Roman tales. This being about the twins Romulus and Remus that led to the founding of Rome, which is all I'll say. So I found that the title interesting. The director being Fede Alvarez was good because I really like most of his stuff, that being Evil Dead and Don't Breathe. Then I've seen the trailers for Alien Romulus, and it's one of the best trailers I've seen this year. It got every character actor in here that I like. Kelly Spinney, seen her in Priscilla, a few months ago Civil War, and now this. You got David Johnson, who I've seen for the first time in this romantic comedy called Ryland. And Isabella Merced, who's going to be in a lot of future projects like The Last of Us Part 2 and the new Superman movie. So you have the director, cast, look, and everything going for Alien Romulus. Now does Fede and the crew execute this movie? I'll say for the most part, hell yeah, they did that shit. And I'm so happy Alien Romulus does. One of the biggest flaws for the Alien franchise, in my opinion, is that they made the story and themes of the movies more complicated. It went from just trying to escape from an alien to tons of androids, aliens being connected to gods, dreams, and on top of all that, the aliens themselves. Romulus is just about this character Rain, who's played by Kaylee Spinney, and her brother Andy, who's played by David Johnson, who's trying to leave the planet that you can imagine has turned into every nightmare scenario you can think of for the future. Global warming, war, crime, slavery, and death. They meet their old friends Tyler, Navarro, John, and Kay, and the friends ask for Rain and Andy to come with them to escape the planet. In order to do that, they had to get the cryo machines, which helps them sleep to get to their destination quicker from the Romulus ship. Then that's where they meet the aliens that starts off the movie. It's basically just a thriller, horror, and somewhat adventure type of movie. Also, with a little bit of context without spoilers, this movie takes place between Alien and Aliens, so from jump, the plot is easy to follow in this movie. The actors and actresses, just like in Dune Part 2 somewhat in a smaller scale, where they create some spotlight for actors we should check out in the future. Kaylee Spinney was good as Rain. I like that all the characters in this movie just have one goal in mind, is to just find a better place for themselves for the planet that they were living in. You see that goal clearly is for Rain. Rain was vulnerable, caring, and at the same time will get shit done if it's necessary. Kaylee was able to display that and made those characteristics stand out more with her performance as Rain. Now, all the other actors and actresses are good, even though the characters were typical one-note characters for the most part. Archie Renix plays Tyler, who's the handsome potential partner for Rain. Kay, who's played by Isabella Marced, is the close friend. Navarro is the engineer, tech person in the crew. And then you have Spike Vern as Padron, who's the dickhead in the group. All I'll say is that I hate Padron, and the actor did a good job for me to vehemently hate him. Now, the MVP of this whole movie, Alien Romulus, is David Janssen as Big Andy. His name really Andy, but I call him Big Andy because he's staying on business. I like Andy character so much. In the beginning, I thought he was autistic with the way David was playing Andy, until it was revealed he's an android. And it makes complete sense. Andy didn't hurt nobody, but they kept on pushing him. Little badass, bad teeth, bad breath kids jumping him. And this bitch ass boy Bajon kept bothering him the whole movie.
What's up, nigga? What's up, nigga?
All my guy Andy wanted to do was to protect Rain from harm. Now, I promise I'm not spoiling anything, but since Andy's an android in an Aliens movie, you expect it's going to be a turn at some point. And when it comes, that's when Andy stand on business. This was like earlier in the year when we watched Reggie become a badass in Bad Boys Ride or Die. This was Andy the rest of the movie. I'm like, yeah, Andy, step on your 10 toes. David Janssen did a good job portraying this character. Also, side note, I didn't know he was on the show Industry on HBO. So now I have to watch it because David is in it. That's how good David Janssen as Andy was in this movie. Fede Alvarez did a great job with the direction on Alien Romulus. The atmosphere is amazing, and it felt like the first two Alien movies. Another issue, and it not only goes for the Alien franchise, but for other old franchises like Terminator, where for recent movies they depend on CGI too heavily. Here in Romulus, not only is the CGI done right for the most part, but they're using practical effects. The alien looked too real at certain points. Them little face huggers were more scarier than the aliens because they look like beetles you'll see at the street that you're trying to get away from, but bigger. None of the VFX, CGI, and practical effects took me out of the movie. If anything, it added on to the atmosphere and aesthetic to the movie and made it more intense. All of this cost only reportedly just $80 million to make Alien Romulus, and it all look authentic. I really appreciate the authenticity and grittiness Fede Alvarez had brought back to Alien. It definitely needed that for the franchise. Also, Fede is not afraid to get weird with this movie. It's so weird that you will have one what the fuck moment in this movie, and that's all I'll say because that will be a spoiler if I go into it. Now, I do have a few issues with Alien Romulus. It's not a perfect movie. I'll just say one of my issues is that besides 2 characters, maybe 3, for a group of people that knows how to steal a ship, they're very dumb. Now, I understand as a human being, you get in high pressure situations, and some people know how to handle it, and others do the dumbest shit possible. I mean, look at some of LeBron's teammates during the playoff games. But the group, seeing what they seen, still do the dumbest thing possible. Second issue is that I wanted more character development, especially from Rain and Andy. Off jump, you can obviously tell they care about each other, but I can see it not being enough because the talks they have with each other go too quickly. So I wish the movie added 20 more minutes just for the character progression. Last issue is that the Alien Romulus does have a Force Awakens feel to it. Even though this movie takes place between alien and aliens, they say certain lines that was said in those movies, and you're like, okay, stop it. Those are probably my only issues. Alien Romulus is not this big and grand movie like Dune, and probably not as good as Alien, Aliens, and personally Prometheus because I really like that movie. But what I will say is that Alien Romulus brought back the simple aspects of Alien. Fear, going to a better planet, evil corporations, and killing aliens, that's all it needed. Fede Alvarez, Kelly Spini, David Johnson, and the rest of the crew were able to bring that old feel to the franchise again. Hopefully there is a sequel so we can get a consistent feel to the next Alien movie, but a stronger, more tighter film the next go around.